It is estimated that over 90% of tomato varieties have been lost in the last century since farmers stopped saving their own seeds in favor of mass-produced seed. Because saving your own seed was standard practice back in the day, tomato varieties have become adapted to local conditions. Because of this, automatic artificial selection. How would that work? It is simple. Suppose a farmer lives in a place prone to tomato blight. If he grows tomatoes year after year and selects seeds from the best tomatoes in his lot that show resistance to blight, over a few generations, and perhaps through crossbreeding of other varieties, a new blight-resistant variety would appear. Losing these locally adapted varieties was in reality a waste of precious information and time. But we can reverse this and celebrate diversity by saving our own tomato seeds. I'll show you how. I'm Siloé Oliveira, and I'm discovering new flavor while I rediscover heirloom varieties in my suburban homestead. Heirloom tomatoes are all the rage, and rightly so. They exude unparalleled flavor that has been long ago lost in conventional store-bought tomatoes. These family treasures, thus the name heirloom, were prized varieties passed from parent to child, bred specially for flavor. Because of this, many of these varieties happen to be less hardy and show exotic shapes and colors. Saving tomato seeds is easy. All you need is a fully ripe, open-pollinated tomato. Cut the tomato and scoop out the seeds and the jelly-like liquid that comes surrounded in into a container. Unlike other seeds that are merely collected and dried, tomato seeds need to go through a stage of fermentation in order to be viable. Tomato seeds are encased in a gelatinous sac that inhibits sprouting. Without this coating, the seed would germinate while inside the moist conditions of the tomato center. Add a bit of water to the container and let it sit, rotting at room temperature for about 7 days. This mimics the natural process of a tomato falling when overripe and rotting on the soil. Don't let the liquid dry out. If necessary, add more water. After a week, using a sieve and a spoon, wash the seeds under running water until all of the junk is washed away and you're left with clean tomato seeds. This part of the process is a bit smelly due to the rotten liquid, but it quickly goes away once you wash the seeds. Selecting the right tomatoes to save seeds from is a big part of the equation. If you want to continue a variety true to seed, that is, without crossbreeding, you need to isolate your tomato plants or plant only that variety. If you have more than one variety growing together, chances are they will crossbreed. Crossbreeding may be fun, however, you might end up creating your own variety this way. Spread the seeds into a paper towel or napkin and leave them to air dry. Remember to label and keep track of the seed variety. Select the best tomatoes to save the seed from. If you want bigger tomatoes, select the biggest, or make your choice based on flavor or color. I believe that selecting for local disease resistance is really smart. By selecting the strongest plants year after year, or crossbreeding them with disease-resistant varieties, you may end up with a more resistant variety altogether. And most importantly, you will be encouraging biodiversity, which is essential for more stable systems.
Hi Siloé. I have a quick question for you. When I'm putting my seedlings in my seedling trays, and I get to the point where there's a bit of competition, how early is too early to start thinning those? Could I take one of these 5 right here? My wife planted these and they seem to be in pretty close proximity to each other. Anyway, thanks for your response.
Thanks for the postcard question, Ian. That's a great question. It seems that your wife was a bit overzealous when sowing the seeds to ensure, of course, that at least one of them would survive. Now, there's a bit too much in each cell. There's about, 5? And that's way too much competition. I would suggest that you thin them immediately and leaving the shortest one. Of course, usually people want to thin seedlings when they reach the second set of leaves, the first true set of leaves, and that's when you usually do it. But in your case, because there's so many of them, I would do it immediately. It seems that your seedlings are going a little bit leggy. And I love the contraption you have there. It's kind of steampunk, and I'm sure you scavenged it from bits and pieces you had around and built it. I'm wondering if you have those fluorescent lights under or near a sunny window also to kind of help complement the light spectrum. But it seems that your plants are maybe not getting enough light. I would suggest that you raise up the seeds 2 to 3 inches from the lights at least. That might give them a better fighting chance to develop into strong seedlings. I personally usually don't even prick out seeds or thin them out, partially because I personally don't even like thinning seedlings. It seems like it's something wrong. I know it's ridiculous because I use my plate germination method, which in a way I think it's convenient because as soon as they germinate, I just transplant them. I put them once in a cup. That way I know that there will be only one in each of them, and I don't have to worry about thinning. They'll grow strong and they will have less transplant shock. So that's how it works for me. Now, there are many ways of doing this, and certainly that's another method of doing it, and I would advise, in your case, do it as soon as possible. So, hope everything goes right with the brassicas you're growing. Join me next time. Remember to send in questions, comments, or tips to seedofchoice@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Suburban Homestead.